What are you doing? I think I just got you out of here. This is a bad spot for you, little bee. Come on, let's get you out. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Hey, why are you coming back in here? I just took you out. Get, you silly bee. This is a bad spot for you. Go to your flowers. There's no flowers in there. Oh boy. Anyway, I've been saving that bee like every day for the past week or so. But anyway, I'm going to do something a little bit different today while I go through the normal routine. This morning, I went to a multi-species rotational grazing field day. It's still going on, but I had to come back and put my daughter down for a nap, so I don't know if I'll make it back for the last half, but just in case, I wanted to talk about things while it's still fresh in my mind. So, I'm going to show you what we're doing. So first things first, of course, I brought some hay out to the rams. As you can see, there's quite a bit of waste here, but I have mixed feelings on wasted hay at this point. I didn't bring them as much today because they will eat some of this waste, but I'm not really sure if waste is the right word for it. Because throughout winter, they're going to pack that down and it's going to reseed the pasture, which is always a good thing, especially after the summer we've had in this drought. We want to have more good stuff growing in there, not as many weeds. I'm also going to give the ewes a little bit of a protein boost with these alfalfa pellets. But the other thing we're going to do is throw down some seeds. So I had originally planned to do a different project with these, but it just ended up not happening this summer. So they were just going to sit in my shop all summer and probably go bad, so we're going to just kind of throw it out in the field right now. But yeah, the reason I'm doing this is, as you can see, we're in drought. My pasture looks like crap, and I'd like to improve that. But I learned some really cool stuff this morning that I'd kind of been playing around with anyway, but it really kind of reinforced my ideas of what I was planning on doing anyway. And I don't know if this will work the way that I'm planning on doing it today. This is kind of on a whim. I'll do it properly closer to spring, but rather than letting these seeds go bad, I may as well try. But one of the things you can do to kind of make your pastures more drought resistant and flood resistant actually is improve the soil filtration. And one of the ways you do that is by planting a variety of different cover crops or plants, some of which need to go deeper into the soil to improve that soil health, improve that water filtration, and just generally make your pastures better. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay, the ewes are happily munching down on their alfalfa pellets, and these ram lambs are happily munching down on my hay that I threw in. As you can see, I've kind of been spreading it out, feeding them in a different spot, at least most days, to try and spread out where that hay goes and thus where those seeds go. So there's a lot of bare looking patches here. And that does a number of things. First of all, it does spread out the seeds, but it also improves the area that the sheep hang out in. It spreads out the manure. They get a little bit more trample, so those seeds actually get down into the soil a bit more. So hopefully when it rains, something will take, or worst case scenario, come spring, we'll have a bit more grass growing. So that's good. But what I'm planting today, or throwing down anyway, we'll see if it takes. I've got some orchard grass and some Birdsfoot Trefoil. And I've heard a lot of really good things about Birdsfoot Trefoil. It is hard to find, but I did manage to find it. It is expensive, but I'm hoping it'll pay off. So the legume you hear about the most is alfalfa. And alfalfa is great, don't get me wrong. Like, you can't really go wrong with a good alfalfa. The sheep love it. It takes really easily. You know, it does the job. But variety really is the spice of life here, especially in pasture. You want to have as much plant life variety as you can get. It helps to cut down on these undesirable plants, these weeds that they don't eat, and the dandelion and such. Gives them more protein and just a variety. So if they happen to like one more, they've got more options. But this Birdsfoot Trefoil is really nice as well because it's a low bloat or no bloat type of legume. Hey, buddy. How you doing, Judo? Hey, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. So it's less likely to lead to problems if they eat a whole lot of it. It's not going to lead to any issues with bloat. It's got lower phytoestrogens than both clovers and alfalfa, which, I mean, there's different takes on that, which I'm not going to get into too much of it, but phytoestrogens can act as a bit of a birth control, which you don't want in your sheep when you're trying to breed them. Most of the year it's fine, but during breeding season it could be an issue. But I've also heard that it's not enough of an issue to really make a huge difference. But we're going to try it anyway. I've heard. I'm going to try out this Birdsfoot Trefoil since I have it. So yeah, let's go throw that around. Alright, so I just threw a bunch down in these 3 pastures. I don't know if any of it will take, but like I said, I mean, I was just going to sit and go bad on my shelf anyway. I was planning on getting more in the new year and trying my plan again. Hopefully in the spring when it's more likely to actually take off. But we'll see what happens. Birdsfoot Trefoil as well, it has a nice deep taproot, so it gets... bugs. Wasps are bad this time of year. Yeah, it has a nice deep taproot, which helps to get the water deeper into the soil, improves that microbial life, and it's also a nice, really drought and flood resistant legume. So that'll really help if it takes. I'm going to do the same in there with the other 2, so the orchard grass and the Birdsfoot Trefoil. There's other kinds of grasses as well. There's many different types of legumes you can plant. There's also different types of grasses. There's your cool weather grasses that tend to do really well in the spring and fall. And then your warm weather grasses that tend to do better in the height of summer. And it's nice to have a mix of both, because then there's always something that's doing well in your pasture. You're less likely to run into these kinds of issues. So I'm going to make a greater effort at that come spring, and hopefully do a bit to counteract this sort of thing in the future. But I'm also hoping to plant other crops in here as well. I was planning on going around with some carrot seeds and beet seeds and maybe radishes and turnips and stuff like that. Other things that have a good deep taproot, or are a taproot, and are safe for the sheep to eat, of course. So you don't want to run into problems there. So I'll have to do a bit of research and see what would be good to throw down. It'd be nice if we can get a bit of a crop from them as well, but we'll see if that happens. Hi, ladies. Yeah, you're interested in this, aren't you? But I also am hoping to plant some things like peas and I don't know what else. I'll have to look into it. And just improve the plant diversity in these pastures. And then hopefully that'll improve our situation and end up with less things like these foxtails. They're all through here. Canadian thistle that the sheep don't really like. More so in those pastures, but there's still a lot of weeds in here too. I mean, variety is good, but you don't want too much of the stuff that, look at you, too much of the stuff that they won't eat. So we're going to try it and see how it works out. And I'm going to try and learn more about whatever these, they mentioned there's online courses through this. I'll link it down below. I'm totally drawing a blank on the name of it at the moment, but I have a bunch of flyers in the house, so I'll go look at those and put them up before I post this video, so keep an eye on that. Hi, ladies. But yeah, so a little quick video. Wanted to pass on some of the stuff I've learned about. I'm also going to be trying some bale grazing through winter with our silage. So there's an art to doing that as well. You do have to keep it away from the dugout a little ways, but they'll be scattered throughout this pasture and a couple hopefully throughout there to help improve things as well, because that again spreads out the trample and spreads out whatever seeds are left in the forage and can help prevent things like weeds popping up in too high of a number. We're also going to be trying to rotationally graze through winter as well. So that'll be interesting. But I did learn a lot this morning. I still kind of have to process it all, but I wanted to put up something while it was still fresh in my head. So I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time.